everybody should be able to see now.
Yay! Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so let me go ahead. Oh, thank you, Space, for the tier 2 sub. Appreciate you. This is Toshi. Everybody say hi to Toshi. Toshi is an amazing, amazing makeup artist, also known as Dollfille. If you check out their Instagram account, you can do like !Dollfille to check out their Instagram and their Twitch, so you can go send some follows. We'll have the mods do occasional shout outs here and there. But yes, I'm super excited today because we are going to be having some nice deep discussions. We're going to talk about avatars and beauty and self-expression and the metaverse and all this kinds of really exciting stuff. Oh yeah, we're getting right into it.
How did you get started with VTubing and digital stuff and all of that?
Yeah, so I actually got into it through fashion, was the biggest thing for me. So my very favorite like brand of clothing is by a brand called Cloma, and they're like a high fashion Japanese brand that creates this kind of like neo Y2K like futuristic looking outfits. And I fell in love with it. Okay, like I just fell in love with their style and everything, and it was very expensive, but I wanted it so bad. Like my heart yearned for it, you know, like it was calling to me.
Yeah, no, Japanese brands are the death of me.
Right.
Yeah.
And so basically I got sucked into this brand and I found out that they were making clothes for Vroid. And I was like, what the heck is Vroid? Like these avatars, like what are they doing? Like this looks so cool and different. And I wasn't sure if it was even available like to English users at all. I was like so confused by it. And so I went ahead and purchased one of their jackets, and it came with a free download for one of the outfits for Vroid. And I was like, okay,
God, that's sick. That's
well,
so
I had
cool.
this free outfit, so I was like, well, what am I going to do with it? Well, I got to make a fucking avatar. That's what I got to do, you know? So I went and I
just gave me
created
a huge idea. Oh my God, I'm doing that. I'm like just starting to do my own fashion brand, and I'm so doing that.
Yes, no, that'd be amazing.
Oh my God. That's so cool that we have that in common. Like, I mean, that fashion was kind of like the main drive for that. We didn't even talk about that at all. I love it.
Fashion and bringing it into the digital realm and using that for self-expression and like, because I love fashion IRL as well, obviously, because I wouldn't have gotten that expensive jacket if I hadn't been.
Yeah. Oh my God, no, I feel you. I feel you. So like when it comes to fashion, I've actually found myself like, yeah, I finally have like my dream closet in real life, and I'm almost at the point where editing my real self is almost boring at this point. I'm not boring, but I'm just like, I feel limited with it. And so like creating this Vroid and like making these wings and doing hair, like I do hair in real life and stuff too, and wigs, and it was really cool, like the crossover between like doing the hair in Vroid and like how you make a wig are actually very similar. And like, but like making these wings, like to make these wings in real life would be such a nightmare. So it's really easy and validating for me to not have to spend 4 hours to look the way that I want. You know what I mean? So do you want to maybe just touch on that, like with the kind of like looking the way you want and feeling the way you want? And I feel like Vera just made it so accessible to really become the self that you want to be, you know, especially for people who might not have that ability in real life, whether it's because they're alternately abled or money or parents or whatever, and how, you know, virtual reality is able to let us really be our realist selves, I think. And we had touched on, you know, how the cyber psychology, I think you called it as well. So I don't know, tell me a little bit about that. What are your thoughts on that? And like the self online as a Vroid versus the self IRL.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Vroid, like you said, just makes it so accessible, and that's like the coolest thing ever. Because I know for me, like when I decided to make an avatar, I didn't have 3D modeling skills. I didn't know anything about avatars. Like that was like the least thing on my mind, you know, being a college student, like I don't give a shit.
Oh my
like,
God.
you know, I can never take the time to learn all that. And so discovering VRoid was like, wow, this is, you know, putting the power in the hands of the people kind of situation where all of a sudden I am able to learn how to do this with my limited art skills and actually create something and become it. And virtual reality really opened the gate towards not even just being an avatar, but becoming immersed in the avatar and having that personification of being like, this is me. And I know for me, that's been one of the most impactful experiences that I've had in my entire life, was finding my avatar and then being able to embody it, which is like the coolest and craziest feeling. Like, it definitely changed the way that I just perceive the world in general now.
Dang, yeah. Oh shit, I love that. I love that you mentioned that, like being able to perceive the world. Because like I told you when we first chatted, like since I saw your videos and your avatar first, when I actually saw the human version of you and heard your voice speaking at the same time, there's almost like a disconnect. Like PHIA, the avatar, that is the real PHIA in my mind.
It kind of is in my mind as well, is the funny part. Like, I see my avatar is just a real version of myself as my real body. Like, to me, they're neither one of them is more me than the other. Like, I identify so heavily with both. And you know,
I feel exactly
it's
the same way.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like this deep, deep connection that you have where your brain is like, oh yeah, that's me, but that's also me. And yeah.
So along with that, like, you know, you see yourself as you know, you see yourself as your avatar, right? So then what other sides of yourself have come out, like, in virtual reality? Like, have you noticed any changes or any types of different behavior that you do online versus in real life that you wouldn't normally do?
Well, I definitely am way more social and way more confident inside of virtual reality and as my avatar. I feel like I have a certain amount of respect in the virtual world that I don't necessarily have in my real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel a lot more confident, and I feel like people actually look up to me and that kind of stuff. And it just makes it so much easier to be myself and express myself when real life, like, you know, I just hang out with my family and they have no idea what I'm doing. They don't understand. It goes over their heads. Yeah, they try to be like, they're like, oh yeah, Sophie, we love like what you're doing, but they have no idea what it is. You know, it's just a big like whoosh over the head kind of thing.
God, that's so cool. That's great. Yeah, I kind of have a similar, like, actually, that's an interesting topic, is like how your family views it and whatnot. Like, my dad is actually a scientist, and it's probably partially because of him that I am the way that I am, because like, so he kind of raised me on sci-fi and anime and like sci-fi again. You know, all that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
So my entire life, I've kind of always looked up to robotic women, like Cortana in Halo and Major from Ghost in the Shell. Like, those were my idols. Like, I never really liked celebrities, but all the badass robot women were just like, yes, that is what I want to be. So it's just like so fun and so validating to finally be slightly closer to that.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I love what you're able to do, like, with makeup and your real life self. And it just feels like for you, like, having virtual avatars is just even more empowering, like giving you like the creative tools to just do even more than you already have. And I think what you already do is quite impressive, in that like most people don't have the skills to make your visions come to life, which I think is why you're so successful, because you're able to do such an amazing job with it. But it is really cool to see you take something that would be generally considered very real and kind of physical, like a physical art form, and then make it into something really digital. And I love seeing the comparison between your avatar and your real life makeup and stuff that you do. It's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna cry. Thank you. I just wanted to say too, like, because in my normal streams and like when I do hang out with friends and stuff, like doing their makeup is like such a huge bonding experience for me. And I always feel like it's always super fun and like really a great way to connect with people. Like, I feel like when you're doing their makeup or doing their hair, like, it's this connection that you get that's so intimate, where you normally don't get to be that intimate with other people. And it was really interesting that when you showed me your model today wearing the makeup that I made for you, I still got that same feeling. I actually met one of my best friends online as well. It's a bit of a different situation, but she actually got catfished by someone using photos of me,
Oh
and
my God.
she developed a really close friendship with this person. And then she saw a picture of me from Otakon cosplayed as Bulma, that was on like Anime News Network or something, and it had my name tagged. And so then Shannon, my friend, she just messaged that girl like just my name. And then the girl deleted all of her profiles and everything and like totally disappeared. And
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. And it was kind of a bummer for Shannon because she had developed like, you know, an actual friendship with this girl. Um, and like, I just wondered like if that had just been in VR chat or virtual reality, it's like she could have just been using an avatar that I made and put up for free, or she could have just used an avatar that she liked and had that same relationship, but not had to have it be gone, you know?
Yeah.
That's a real ass person. Like, that's a human being with an identity who
Mm-hmm.
works hard, who does their own unique, special freaking thing. And you're just trying to take that. And like, that's not cool. And like, even if you have an avatar, like, all of you people out there who do that shit, I want you to know that's not how you do it.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make you cool, you
Mm-mm.
know? And like, I don't know. I just like, I almost feel bad for people who feel like they have to do that type of catfishing type of thing.
Kind of crazy how people do that. I don't know. And it's definitely like you said about finding like something unique about yourself and like, you know, capitalizing on what makes you you rather than trying to literally become somebody else and then like hiding behind that instead of, you know, finding yourself. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons that a lot of people are into VTubing now is because if they didn't have a lot of confidence before in themselves, it kind of gives them a buffer to create an avatar and then use that to kind of hide behind and gives
Yeah,
them the power to
exactly.
express themselves when they might not feel comfortable otherwise.
Yeah, and like I used to get the exact same thing. Like, you know, I wear crazy makeup like this in real life and stuff. And like what pissed me off the most is when people say it's a mask or you're hiding or you're trying to make people think you're trying to hide your real face or whatever. And I'm like, actually, no, I'm trying to show you the real me. I'm actually expressing more of my actual self by doing this and showing myself this way. Like, you know what I mean? I just
Mm-hmm.
wish that I hope that going forward, like with VTubing and everything becoming more popular, honestly, I think it is happening. Like I see it with alternative fashion and makeup and VTubing and everything. Like it's becoming so much more normal to express yourself in different ways and like have people celebrate that. And I'm just like all for it. And I'm so proud of us for kind of being like the front runners of that kind of
Totally.
thing. Like you're brave, man. You're brave.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what I love so much is showing people that it's like this is a technology that's not meant for a small select few group of people. This is something that should be available to everyone and that everybody can
Yeah.
try. And that was definitely how I felt when I first discovered VTubing and stuff is I was like, wow, this stuff is like really hard to get into and confusing, but you know what? I'm going to try and show everyone and make them know that if I can do it, you can do it too, kind of a thing. And that's why I wanted to make a bunch of tutorial videos so that I could share the knowledge that I figured out with everybody. And I love, love, love knowing that I have inspired so many smaller creators to get started. And especially knowing that like a few of them have actually turned out to be like very successful so far. And it's
Oh
really
shit,
crazy
that's
to
so
have them.
cool.
Yeah, it's so cool to have them come to me and be like, wow, you really inspired me. Like, you're the reason I started. And then see them grow and grow and grow. And it's just like, you know,
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
love that. I love that I'm actually making like people's lives different in that way.
We were talking about the veil from VR to reality
Mhm.
and where that ends and where it begins. I don't think it does. I think it's all there.
All
You
there
know what I
as in
mean?
like
Like reality is reality no matter what. Like reality can be in a computer, reality can be outside of a computer. I personally am full into the whole simulation theory.
Same.
Anyway, it's like, yeah, no, it's just Creepy says tea. Spill the tea. Yep, the tea it's all fake. I keep waiting for the day to just like be unplugged and be like, oh, cool, this is it. Great. Can I go in a different one? Like
go in a different one. I always think of this stupid scene for Rick and Morty where they're playing the game and it's somebody's life and he plays it for like 80 years and then he gets unplugged and they're like, God. Nice score, dude. Like
oh my God, holy shit. I love it. Do you want to maybe talk about yourself a little bit more and maybe career-wise, how much of this is your career and how much of it is just passion, and where do you think you want to go in the future with all of this? Because you're already such a badass, honestly, and you're such a baby. I was like, oh my God, she's young.
Yes, I am a baby. I turned 21 in January. So actually what ended up happening is that I was going to school. I was going to college at a 2-year university, which, you know, just a community college. And I was also going to a 4-year university for an extra class. So when I discovered VR and my YouTube and stuff like that, I was taking like 18 credit hours worth of school on top of working a part-time job and commuting to 2 universities. And you know, trying to maintain a social life and all that kind of stuff on top of it. It was a lot. Let's just say that. It was a lot. But I discovered VR and like I had this moment when I was driving to school one day. And I was driving to, you know, it was like a 30-minute drive, right? And so I was in the car and, you know, listening to something on the radio or whatever. And my mind just kind of started wandering. And I was like, you know what? I really like this virtual reality stuff like a lot. And I'm spending all of my free time, and I mean all of my free time, reading about it or doing it or learning more about it. And I was like, wow, this is genuinely what I think I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, this makes me happier than I've ever felt before, ever. And in that moment, I kind of decided, like, I am going to make virtual reality my career in any way that I know how. And the one thing that kind of came to mind was like, well, I don't know any game dev. I don't know anything about, like, you know, 3D modeling. I'm such a big noob when it comes to the technology side and the software side. And so then I was like, well, you know what I'm good at is I'm good at talking and I'm good at being excited. Those are like the two things I'm good at. And so it just made so much sense where I was like, you know what, like I'm going to take all my talents. You know, I was studying to be an English major at the time. And I was like, well, I love writing. I'm going to write my own scripts. And then I'm going to read them off and I'm going to use my presentation voice and I'm going to inspire people and make them really excited about virtual reality the same way that I am.
Yes. And be like a motivational speaker.
Exactly. I'm a motivational speaker for VR. That's what I am.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Official title.
So that's when I decided, that's what I wanted to do, is be, you know, a YouTuber. And, you know, became a streamer not long after that. And yeah, I would say it's half passion and half career, because obviously I wouldn't be doing this if I like wasn't making any kind of money off of it, because otherwise it would be really hard to survive my day-to-day life. But on the other hand, I never feel like I'm working. Like it is pure fun for me, like making a video or going into VR and recording something or anything like that. Like I still set aside time every day and I'm like, you know, I'm going to work for 4 to 5 hours today. But I do that every single day because it's just fun. Like it really is, like, it's a whole different experience. Like working for yourself versus working for someone else. I have truly never been happier in my life. Like I just feel so much more confident and happy and free, and I really want to trade it for anything. So I really do hope that this can be my career going forward into the future for as long as I can possibly maintain it.
Yes. Well, congratulations. You seem like you're well on your way there. Someone just said success is a series of steps. And I totally agree with that. That's such a good thing. It's like you got a big break. I definitely feel like I got a big break as well. And, you know, when people ask, like, how do you get followers? And it's like it starts by making friends and building a community of people who genuinely love what you do and you share those passions, and it has to be genuine. I think, you know, it can't be for the money or for the fame or any of that kind of shit. Because then otherwise, I think the universe knows. And I think that I think that it can tell and it won't run your program.
Yeah, definitely.
To say it in another way.
Yeah, that's all really good stuff. We covered some really great topics today.
We did. Dude, my brain is kind of melted.
Same, but in the best kind of like melty, soupy, like this is delicious kind of a brain melt.
Yeah, exactly. That was fantastic. This was freaking awesome. Again, huge fan and huge thank you for making the content that you do and for being yourself, and for exactly doing what we were saying of being open and responding to my message and just being a really awesome, genuine person.
Oh, the same goes for you. I've had such a fun time talking with you and connecting with you. And I'm really glad that even though it took a little while, we were able to nail something out and be like, yes, we're going to actually have a nice little collab and a great discussion. And this has been just so much fun. These are the kind of interactions that are the most fun and the most rewarding in, you know, what I'm able to do. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this with me.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Well, this was amazing. I'm going to hang up and I'll talk to you soon. And definitely going to check out VR Chat and try and see Protostar's concert.
Yes, absolutely. We will give you some details on that later. Okay, guys. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I had such a fun time today, so let's go spread the love to Dollfille again, and, you know, make sure you throw them a follow, you know, here, go to check out their Instagram. They've got so many cool makeup pics that it's actually insane. But yeah, let's get that raid going, so let's do !raid. PHIA raid, we stomping in, PHIA foot. You got it, you got it. But yes, take care, everybody. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye everybody. Bye. Special thanks to this month's Patreon members and virtual VIPs: Backzorn, Dutech, Klukule, Spormauer,